Welcome to the second episode of the weekly show by Word Pro Racing. I'm Justin Mifsud.
And I'm Adrian. Welcome to today's show. I would like to excuse myself for my voice today, but
Today he is sick.
I'm still sick actually from last week, but anyway. Welcome. We'll be going through various subjects today. A review of the last week, what's coming up, as always, and please also feel free to send us any questions you like, both on YouTube and Facebook. And also please do like our channels and subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so the whole lot
social media
platforms. Yeah, that's right.
We had a great opening of the first championship, which is the Grip Virtual Series 2019 in collaboration with Grip. And as probably most of you know now, that we started a collaboration with Grip and we're doing the Virtual Series 2019. We started with the first round last week on the 30th of January, and we started with round one, obviously, and there was a good turnout.
Yeah,
and it was one of the best. In fact, it was the best, obviously, of this year, because we had sometimes people just cancel last minute and then they drop off from the race.
Still, we had some drivers that were absent also.
Yes,
on the
but
first
there
round,
was a driver.
They were like not available, so
there was a driver who was driving in real life,
yeah,
so
that's
couldn't
right.
left hand. I think it was Michael Santos, and but still, we're going to have another driver as well who's interested in taking part. We did some testing to see his time, and he's joining in. So today we're going to show you a bit the highlights. We did very fast, quick highlights from the live stream, but obviously from next week we're going to do better highlights and we'll be giving you more material about this championship.
It was definitely a great race, like you're saying. Actually, I was very amazed by the level of driving that there was. So not so much incidents, great start, you know what I mean. First couple of corners, all drivers managed to keep it right. So yes, having that amount of cars on grid, it was not easy, but it actually was a great race. Actually, race 1 and race 2 were both amazing.
We had some penalties to give.
There were some basic penalties, but it was like not a big do. Lot of accidents happening.
Still,
most of the things were like race incidents, like a car spinning and the car following just obviously crashed into
it. But this happen even in the real Grip Championship. So it's motorsport. I mean, you don't pretend that you have a flowing race throughout the whole race. One of the penalties changed everything, though. Changed the first position of the driver. In fact, we had given a penalty to Daniele Pasquali, who did the fastest lap time in the qualifying. In fact, he did a shortcut in the straight before the finish, and therefore we had to give him 1 second penalty, and therefore it changed the lead of the championship, and instead Kevin Siggy is leading this championship. Actually he was still leading, but the second race was won by Kevin Siggy, not Daniele Pasquali. First race, because he has been given a 1 second penalty due to cutting
during qualification.
Exactly. So
he was actually the only driver taking that line.
Yeah.
He managed to find a line where he can possibly gain some seconds, but obviously enough, it was not the right line, because he was actually going between the white line and the pit wall. So that was definitely out of place.
In fact, we are going to include the pit lane penalty app from next race. In fact, after the live show, we will be uploading the updated pit lane penalty app. So you will download it from our website, log in obviously, and then you can download it from our website. Obviously, to download this you have to be a member and be part of the Grip Championship. So obviously this is only for those who are taking part in the Grip Championship. Today, as I said, we're going to show you the highlights of the first round. We have also an update of the standings, obviously, after the first round, and then we continue with some questions and upcoming events coming this month. I don't know if you have anything to say more about the Grip Champion, or maybe someone sent us any messages on Facebook or YouTube.
I saw actually one message on Facebook. Yes, we'd like to do it, but obviously enough. It's like we're reaching an international audience. and talking to Kevin Kalleja, he said actually try to talk a little bit of Maltese, also because he's Maltese. But as we're reaching an international audience, that obviously enough we need to do it in an international
Unfortunately,
language,
Maltese is not the international language, and therefore, since we are worldwide and international, we can say obviously we cannot speak in Maltese because this is not only for the Maltese people only. It is an international organization. So
right.
yes, if you need have any questions and you would like to ask us, obviously we are Maltese and we can reply to you in Maltese. But as Adrian said, this is an international organization and we have to talk in English to reach everybody.
So that everybody can understand.
Exactly. So we're going to show you the grip highlights, and soon after that we're going to discuss and explain some other information about the grip, and maybe people have some questions about this grip championship. Not only about that, even also in real life grip championship, which will be starting later on this year. So here you go.
Ready for the start here in Imola, the first round of the championship. Lights out and away we go. We have an amazing start from Pasquale, but already it is going to be Kevin Siggy Revenak who takes an early advantage up towards Tamburello for the first time.
It's one of the best starts I've ever seen there for Siggy, as he rocketed ahead of Pasquale, who didn't get a terrible start, but still dropped behind like he was made of stone there.
That's McFarlane.
That's McFarlane.
McFarlane trying to get his run at the inside line. He might get the run into the chicane, but he's going to get a little bit of support here too, as Bernard Vella has to concede the place. So that is Ross McFarlane making a big move.
Pasquale has the slipstream on Siggy down the straight. Pasquale to the outside here as we head towards Tamburello. Can he outbreak him? He needs to get all the way alongside him, and he does do so. So through goes Daniele Pasquale into the lead of the race, passing Kevin Siggy Revenak for P1 there.
Kevin Siggy Revenak is digging deep and finding more speed. He's got the gap down again to 0.3 of a second. 25 points on the board are about to go to the Italian, who blasts out of the final corner. Daniele Pasquale takes the checkered flag and wins the first Grip G1 Series race of the 2019 season. Fantastic result for the Italian. Daniele Pasquale wins from Kevin Siggy Revenak. Kamil Franchak is in a brilliant third position. This is the big one, the second race of the weekend for the Grip G1 Virtual Series, first round of 2019 from Imola. It's a big one for Daniele Pasquale. Alongside him on the front row of the grid, Kevin Siggy Revenak. And we are racing. Once again, though, Kevin Siggy Revenak able to blast away from the front of the grid in fine form. He dives for the lead and gets it. And Daniele Pasquale's now got challenge from the man in third position, Franchak. Trying to come around the outside and gets him. Franchak in a second position. This changes everything. Pasquale's now going to have to work so hard to fight back.
And he's coming back at him on the exit towards Villeneuve. Takes a look to the outside line. That's a difficult line to hold, and he can't hold it. So Franchak gets through into second for now, but he's run wide. And into Tozer, they're going to be side by side again for second. And he's going to run around the outside, and he has the space on the exit. McVan wheels, but he makes it stick. He touches him in the rear. My word.
Absolutely
and he comes
amazing.
underneath him on the exit, touches him again. They're going to come together, surely. My word.
Franchak trying to come right round the outside now on the run to Acqua Minerale. Pasquale has to bail out of it. High side on the curb. Franchak gets the place. Pasquale has gone down the order.
Indeed, Pasquale, our race one winner, has dropped down into 17th position.
But I'm fairly sure we lost Paganini for a brief moment, and he is now crawling back to the pits. So yes, Paganini in dire straits. His race looks to be over.
Oh, Zabini spins. Zabini is off from 6th position. He's in the grass.
Disaster.
And, yeah, that's a big shame because he was running 6th place. Bella McFarlane ran the outside and
back
taking
wheels
the
again.
inside for the second corner, and off goes Bella. Oh wow, that was so close.
Kevin Siggy Rebenak has got a lead of 3.6 over Franchak. Siggy Rebenak has really sat up and taken heed in the second race. He has been absolutely invincible, but Vela is getting very close to Ross McFarlane. He's going to try and throw the car right round the outside, decides to back off the toe, but he has got a potential here to come back at him. Vela is going to try and come the long way round and get the switch back in the chicane. He's forced McFarlane to take the tighter line, which is the slower line, side by side with McFarlane round the outside, down to the braking zone for Rebenak. Siggy Rebenak is going to take the checkered flag. He wins a brilliant race. Dominant display from Kevin Siggy Rebenak, and Ross McFarlane just beats Bernard Vella to the flag for third.
Less than 0.2 of a second in it. Less than 0.2 of a second in it for third position.
Well, what this means, of course, is that the new championship leader is Kevin Siggy Rebenak. He'll have 43 points after these two races with a win and a second place. And for Kevin Siggy Rebenak, it's already looking ominous for the rest of the battle for the season.
There you have it. That's the highlights from the first round of the Grip Virtual Series 2019 with World Pro Racing in collaboration with Grip. And yes, obviously by after next week's round, this week's round,
yes,
which is round 2, we will have more time, since the next week we don't have any races, so we can prepare a better highlights of this championship. We now, after this highlights of round 1, we can say that the standings are as shown here. Give me a second. And here you go. Currently we have in first position
Kevin Siggy Rebenak, Camille Franchak in second position, third position Bernard Vella, fourth Ross McFarlane, in fifth position you have Daniele Pasquali, sixth position Danilo Smerillo, and seventh position Ita Mariativ, eighth position Dean Vella, ninth position William Zerbini, and 10th position Alberto Spitaleri. So as you can see there also, it's a very varied highlight of various flags, you know what I mean. If I can see, there is Czech Republic, Austria, yes, Malta, Slovenia, Austria, Malta, UK, Italy, Israel, Switzerland, and obviously there were more in the remaining places. So that's a great mix of nationalities.
As you can see, the points from second onwards have second Camille Franchak with 33 points, and closely Bernard Vella following him with 24 points. I'm sure that in Magione they don't have not that much, plenty of space where to overtake, and obviously this will make the qualifying a bit more important because Magione is not that wide and too many short corners close, and you don't have that much of length where you take over, and therefore the qualifying is very, very important, and especially having 2 qualifyings each race before each race. So we have a qualifying, a race, another qualifying, and the race. And for those that do not know, the race is just 10 minutes.
That's right.
So if
so
you do
definitely,
a mistake,
as
you've had it.
Justin is saying, Magione is based on the qualifying session. Who qualifies, as they qualify in the qualifying session, there is a big probability, obviously enough, that they might defend and keep their position during the race because of this, of the restrictions the track itself has. All this action will be happening next Wednesday. As usual, will be the race starts at official practice starts at 8 o'clock sharp. So 8 o'clock Maltese time, because obviously enough we do our broadcast from our base here in Malta.
Yep.
And we ask you and tell you, give you the good advice, follow the race, because definitely these grip cars are fun to watch. Even the drivers themselves are having great fun to drive, and it's definitely an exciting race to see. as you even saw in the highlights of our last race.
And
so
having 10 minutes race is just like, if you do a mistake, you've had it. I mean,
that's right.
You have seen the highlights, and maybe you have seen the full race last week. If you spin or something happens or somebody bumps into you and throws you out of the track, it's a bit impossible to gain back your positions because you have just 10 minutes of race and you've had it. So concentration and consistency is a must. Not only to do a fast lap. In fact, if you check on our server currently, there are drivers doing their best times there, and they're doing 106 and possibly even further below 106s, 105.7s probably. They can be done by the fast drivers as well. Hopefully we see other drivers that maybe push a bit more and gain some positions, and
obviously
maybe
enough. They had even the time now to tweak around the setup of the car, especially after obviously the experience on the first round. So they might have chance now to tweak their car, obviously enough to adapt to the Maggiore track, but obviously enough even to improve the performance on track for themselves. So that is something definitely we could see from other drivers participating.
And good to know for those who just joined us for this show only today. The winner of this championship will win a full testing day with the real Grip G1 car at the Varano track in Italy, with engineers, with the whole team of Grip, and obviously this couldn't be happen without the help of Tamir Placzynski, the CEO of Grip, who appreciates, and we thank him also for collaborating with us. And we must say that Grip are doing a futuristic thing in motorsport, having real drivers, sim racing combined together, and
it's something they need to prepare to see later on this year.
The technology they have. The drivers can see all their information and their data, so they can practice more and see what they're doing wrong. I mean, that's how motorsport should be.
Definitely. The technology that they are adopting definitely will improve their drivers, because obviously gives them the real picture of what they're doing on track, where they're going best, where they're doing mistakes. So that helps them. I know that obviously telemetry exists in any motorsport, but possibly Grip is taking that step further, even with the inclusion of, as Justin is saying, sim racing together with the real world of motorsport, the real championship. That is something that definitely follow us, so that you'll get more information what's going to happen later on this year, as soon as the official G1 series kicks off. Another virtual G1 series will kick off from our side, which will include only the real drivers from the real series. So that is something, definitely keep on watching us, and we'll give you more information about that with all the dates, which actually we have already.
Yes,
but
we have them
just
already,
need to confirm them, and definitely it's something exciting to watch. We had already the opportunity to see the pilot project of this race. It was definitely exciting, and it was actually like watching the real Grip race and championship in real life. So even some people said it looks very exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting, because the Formula car is not slow, it's not the fastest, and it's not, I mean, it gives you that pleasure of controlling a car. I mean, even when you turn the corners, I mean, I tested the car as well, and it's...
You wish to test the real car?
Obviously, I wish to test the real car, you know. Hint. Yes, we'll definitely go one day to the real Grip Championship and be there, obviously, to experience the real car. But one thing that we enjoy most is that in motorsport, and obviously since we've been working with Grip quite closely, and the technology that we will be using both in the real life and in the virtual life, you can say, we're working. Yeah, it's more work for me, but I love it. I enjoy going tired at home, because it gives you something back. Like, what you're preparing is not because we're doing this as a business. We're doing this to see other people joining
Unless listen, let's put it this way, unless you have the real passion, you won't do what we're doing.
Exactly.
So definitely there has to be the passion inside it. Passion not only for sim racing, but passion for motorsport. Because we're trying to get both worlds. We're not doing something new, but we're getting the both worlds together and trying to do something in a different way. That's what we're trying to do, not actually doing anything so new. That keeps you exciting, that gives you the energy to keep on working, and unless you have the passion for motorsport and sim racing, you won't do all this. So.
Yes, and it's not an easy task working in let's say in esports, because we're working mostly in esports, adjudicating virtual races. Adrian and George are adjudicating real races as well, and with their skills they're adjudicating and monitor the races themselves and during the virtual races as well. So we are combining the virtual racing with real racing. We're combining the real monitoring, stewarding, the race direction in real life, and we're implementing it into virtual. So we're doing a combination of many things, some things that we want to see in other motorsport. But we are very glad and happy about this, that we started with Grip, and it was the first that happened.
It is something very interesting what Justin is saying. Why? Because even from the element of issues, element of stewards, element of race direction, from sim racing you can gain also more experience. Why? Because
it's proven.
It's proven. But you take experience. Why? Because you're still meeting situations on track, meeting incidents on track, meeting any kind of moves. You know what I mean? Monitoring any accidents with replays, with everything. All this is done also in the real world of motorsport. So definitely, it's also a plus for an official to do this in the virtual life, and definitely have more experience and practice. And from the driver's point of view, we explained also this last week. It's an environment where they can try to push their limits and understand where the car they are driving,
the limits of their car,
and obviously the track, and how it can respond, and how in certain instances, certain positions, certain I don't know, spins or whatever, when you're losing the car, what should be done so that in real life you manage to get the car back again and not lose it. So these are situations that in sim racing can also be created, pushing to the limits and obviously getting to know more your car. So.
And this, something that you have to say, this is thanks to the platforms. Assetto Corsa, Factor 2, iRacing, all the platforms that are doing the tracks which are laser scanned to make them close to reality as possible, so that the driver can really practice on a real world, the same as a real world scenario.
That's right.
Because that if you're doing on a track which is barely close to reality, it's a bit impossible, and you cannot practice and implement what you're doing on the real track. So something else that we have coming up in this month in February, we have the Lamborghini special event at Zandvoort. If you haven't registered yet, you can register now. The platform is Assetto Corsa, Lamborghini Huracan, the GT3, which have to be purchased. The Dream Pack 2 have to be purchased. The Dream Pack 2 from Steam, which is around €6 something. The entrance is free. You can join by registering on our website as a member, which is free, and then you go to the calendar, worldproracing.com, find the event, click on it, select join, and that's basically it. You are registered to the event. We have a 20-lap race, no pit stops, no mandatory
pit stops.
We're going to do the same as we do in professional events, such as the Grip Championship. Adrian and George will be monitoring the race. Now we have more equipment, more vision, more visuals of the drivers. We're still going to include pit lane penalties, just to
PLP.
In short, PLP, just to have some help for all the shortcuts. We will be penalizing. Actually, PLP will be penalizing you with seconds for every shortcut they do. And yes, it's going to be an exciting race, I must say, because Lamborghini, we haven't done any Lamborghini races yet, not even last year.
It's actually a great car. So
Yep.
I mean, I did actually experience it live. So
Yes, it's a great car, great sound, a good car that you can handle it, unless sometimes.
definitely a great sound.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to experience, I think 38 cars at one
Lamborghini
go.
Trofeo.
Super Trofeo World
Super
Finals. So like it was like 38 cars on track. Just imagine the noise and the excitement. Actually, we can get some footage I took and we can show them in the coming weeks.
Sure.
Also, what it looks like, and definitely it's a hair raiser. You know what I mean?
Yes, so that's about the first special event of this year with the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 at Zandvoort.
So, I would like
to ask any questions from
if
anybody.
there anybody want to ask any questions, feel free, send us a message, YouTube, Facebook, or even personal messages if you don't want to make it public, and we're ready to answer. Would like definitely to welcome our new sponsor.
Of course.
Our new sponsor.
Last week we sealed sponsorship with Garmin Malta, and Garmin is not just a sponsor and that's it. We will be working closely with Garmin. You tell me, Garmin, why they are interested into esports. Garmin is more about fitness watches and stuff like that, but some of the things that we are going to collaborate together with Garmin is that esports is not just sitting on a chair or on a racing seat or having a joystick and play and that's it, or you're being called as a couch potato. You can be a couch potato if you want, but with World Pro Racing you are not a couch potato. Why? Because we're including fitness in our academy that we will be building in the couple of weeks, and we will be introducing fitness in our training sessions. Motorsport is not just racing. Motorsport includes fitness and being fit, and also on a simulator. Why? Because you need to not to do a race, a 10-kilometer race. No, you have to do a warm-up, stretching, and then you can race. Nutrition is important. Focusing during a race. If you lose your focus, what happens? You know, you can spin, you can crash, you can die in real life. Yes, these can happen, and we have to impose on this because people are still thinking, I'm talking about the general esports now, people think that all the gamers are losers, they waste time, they don't study, they are not intelligent, they are not intellectual, they are nothing, you know? You just spend some time behind the monitor and be like a couch potato. And we want to prove that it's not. Yeah. Garmin got interested in our vision, in our plans, and we are including the fitness section in with World Pro Racing and Garmin, including monitoring of the heart rate during races and seeing the level of each person, see what happens when they are in pressure, somebody's trying to overtake him, many other things. Telemetry system, we have a room here behind us full of telemetry systems, and we can monitor the heart rate also while braking, while turning corners, to know that the person is being pressured, and many other sophisticated technology, I must say. I cannot say more, but
that's right.
You have a brief.
Definitely, we'll be having the people from Garmin with us also.
Exactly.
During the coming weeks, in intermittent weeks, also discussing this part of fitness, which is definitely something very important when it comes to sim racing.
So yes, obviously we have more announcements coming in during the year.
Something special we started working on just
something that
last week.
Yes, something, I mean, it's been trembling in our head for a long time. We are working on something unique with regards to sim racing, and yes, it's going to be an awesome one, something unique, and yeah, it's going to be an awesome and very exciting thing
for us. Yeah, definitely.
Let's stop here for now.
Yeah, that's right.
We've been saying this to many people why we are silent. People ask us why we are silent, why you're not doing anything, why. That's why. Because when we are silent, it means that we're doing something and we're focusing on it. And all these things are becoming fruitful now. And this is all for the sim racing community. It's not for us.
Yeah, definitely. It's we're doing it for the sim racing community. Something that we would like to thank all those people that believe in us, all those people out there, all drivers, all sponsors. I would like to mention Gaming Malta, Gamers.com.mt, Garmin, and hopefully more to come in the coming weeks.
Must say also
would like to thank also
Continental Cars Limited.
Continental Cars Limited. Texor, there is a whole list from the people that believed in us before. Trustmaster, definitely. Something that they believed in us, especially when we did the first GT.
Something behind us.
GT series. GT Omega.
GT Omega was
the first.
The first company that believed in our vision, and thanks to Leo, obviously, they believed in us and they helped us all out.
Yeah.
So yes, you're going to see many GT Omegas running around. Yes. Thank you very much for your help. And Continental Cars Limited, who we collaborated with last year. We did the Porsche Championship where Hani Al-Sabti won this championship, and now he's going to the Porsche on Track Experience at the Intercity Track in Istanbul. And this is what World Pro Racing offers. We try to do many championships during the year and give these kind of prizes, not just prize pools as in cash only. We will be having events with prize pools, with cash prizes, but also for those who would like to enter into the real world of motorsport, we can give you that as well. We try to close that barrier, which we've been saying for many days and months and years. We will we do our best with our contacts, like we're doing with Grip. We close that barrier and we help you go through to the real world.
Give you the opportunity to be there. Don't forget, nowadays there are people even scouting on sim racing. So scouting drivers from there. Has been proven all over the
Race
world.
of Champions, that's what the last
ROC
race.
and some everything. Actually, there are a lot of things that have proven that people from sim racing definitely are able to drive a car and on track and challenge. Challenge actually top drivers. So that is something very good.
And that's what we said last time about Race of Champions. It doesn't mean that we can mention Enzo Bonito, who won against the ex-Formula 1 driver. It was not that was the most interesting. The interesting part was that from sim racing, he went into this car and he drove this car like a normal driver who raced before in this car.
That's right.
That was the interesting part. Not because he won against a Formula 1 driver, because it might be that he had a bad day and he didn't, So, but when having a simulation driver and went into a car and did that good result
with very short briefs before.
Exactly, by Terry Grant, one of a good friend of Adrian's.
I know actually the back end of Race of Champions with the sim racers. Definitely they are briefed. It's not like just getting them, putting them in the car and putting them on track. No, there is a whole process, because obviously there is the safety part of the whole thing. They put them in the car, give them time to practice that car.
They had only a few minutes, maybe
hours, to get that into place. But it was proven then actually on track. So that is something very important. There are a lot of people that want to also keep it to sim racing, which is also an opportunity for those people that don't have the budgets to go to real racing.
And not only that, there might be drivers, and there are, in fact they told us, listen, I want to keep in esports.
Yeah.
And yes, we can help you with our events. You can take part in our professional events, as you now know how professional we do. And actually professional, we do our best to make it the best possible, because there's always more ways and ideas that we can do, and we cannot be always the best, because there's always something to learn.
Yeah.
So one of the things I was going to say, help us by following us on social medias, on Twitter, YouTube,
subscribe on YouTube,
Facebook. Yes, important to subscribe as well. register as a member on our website. It's free as a driver or a team manager, because we have a full system now with members and drivers and the downloads for each championship. And yes, we're just to have information and knowledge how many members we have. We send a message to all drivers about our events. So there's if you're missing something, you're going to miss a good opportunity. So that's what I can say. From so far, from what we've done, we had to always give you guys an opportunity. And I would like to say not only guys now, even girls, because we want even the female sim racing community to join us, because the female can drive as well.
Sure.
So yes, if there are any females watching, there is one. There's my wife watching. So if she's interested
Thanks
in starting
actually
simulation,
for your comment. So
yes, our wives know how much we spend time here preparing, and it's not easy working in this sector in esports, and especially since it's growing rapidly. Every company wants a piece of the cake now, and everybody doing events and stuff. So we have to keep up with all the updates and whatever is going on. So follow us on social media. We have nothing more to say today.
No.
Drink a drink, because you need it.
It's better than I cough actually right now.
You better don't. So thank you for following us. Next Wednesday we have the second round of the Grip Virtual Series 2019. Watch this round as well, because it will be more interesting. The more rounds get close to the final round, the more exciting it will be. So stay tuned. Next Wednesday we go live at 7:30 Malta time.
Yep.
And we start with the official practice at 8 p.m. sharp, and we have 2 races of 10 minutes,
With
2 qualifying
qualifying.
and a 20-minute practice, just 1 practice at the beginning. So stay tuned. We will see you as episode 3 today week.
Yep.
But before, we'll see you next Wednesday, the Grip Virtual Series round 2.
2 at Magione.
Yes, Magione, the track where there's no much space for overtaking. The better qualifying you do, probably the better you do in the race. And focus and be consistent, because that's the only way to win this championship. Good night and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thanks for following us. Good night.